40, be 42, and tomorrow is my 42nd birthday. So this is me at 41 years old. In a few hours, I will be 42. And I just want to thank all of you for watching and tuning in or finding my channel. For the past 40 days, I've been documenting my journey leading up to my next birthday. I started this challenge when I was 39, coming into 40, because I knew that if I wanted to see a change and bring a different energy into my 40s, I had to take time out to be present, to find myself, to regroup, to reassess, as well as challenge some of the habits I had at the time, find new habits, and just tie up some loose ends leading into my 40s. And I'm so glad I did, because now this is my third time doing this. So I did it at 40, 41, and now 42. So if you've been here, thank you. I want to talk about how the past 40 days have gone for me and what really was happening behind the scenes, and how what I said on day one didn't quite manifest as the days went on, because there was a lot of stuff happening in the background that I didn't quite talk about. But I feel like now I'm ready to discuss those matters in as much detail as I can. But just know that I'm okay. But there was a lot of big things happening in the background. But I said, I made a commitment. I'm going to show up as best as possible. And the days that I don't have it, I'm going to be real and say I don't have it. Or I'm going to pre-record and stretch out one vlog into 3 days, because that's just where my head and life was at in those moments for the past 40 days. But regardless, I proved to myself that even through adversity, grief, or loss, or healing, that I am capable of so much more, but I'm also capable of being present in the moment for whatever situation I'm in. And I know how to say no to things when it's too much. And just the importance of time management and capacity, and knowing what I have the capacity to do or not do in those moments, and anticipating what is ahead and how I can not beat the punch, beat it to the punch. What am I trying to say? Not to over plan, but to do enough to where I stay committed to what I was doing. And I'll be honest, if there were days there were a few days where I almost didn't post a vlog, and I would pre-record something and completely would forget that I had done that. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, thank you, past me, because current today me is so grateful that I did. But basically, when I set out to do this challenge, I was going through I was grieving pretty heavy at that point, because a month prior exactly, I found out that one of my close friends that I had lost touch with over the year, just due to other stuff, it wasn't like a personal thing. I had to make a choice. And unfortunately, that person ended up being a part of the drifting away of, in the loss of certain friendships. But I found out that one of my close friends had passed away. And I've experienced a lot of loss in my 41 years of life. When I say loss, I mean not just breakups, but I mean, like, I know a lot of people that have passed away. I've probably been to more funerals than I definitely have been to more funerals than I have weddings, even baby showers. So you can do the math, but it's been a lot. And so I hate to say it, but I kind of know how these things go and what to anticipate. But this one was different, because I wasn't really in communication with the people that this friend was connected to. So I had to make a big decision. And without getting into too much detail, I just didn't feel like it was one of those moments that required me to, like, get the gang back or go back and face things during that time of loss. Or if there ever will be a time to mend that part of my life. But ultimately, I was dealing with that. And I said, am I going to even do 40 be 42? But I reflected on the loss I just endured. And I was like, I have to. I have this life. I need to show up and do the things that bring me joy and honor the people that I have lost currently, in the past, in real time, with my time. And I did just that, right? So I started this journey on March 9th. No joke. March 9th. I find out 2 people I know passed away that weekend prior. And I'm just sitting here like, and I had recorded those videos over the weekend and I scheduled them out for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I had pre-recorded all of that content. So in my mind, I was like, okay, come Monday, I'm going to record Thursdays and Fridays. I'm going to plan all my adventures. I'm going to go to these restaurants. I'm going to work out here. I'm going to do all, like, I had all these big plans. But as God and life would have it, my plans were not the real plans. And I just had to stay, as agile as I could in that process. And, you know, at first it didn't really like hit me. It didn't quite click that I just gotten this news again, because I was just like, what the heck? You know, I was like, gosh, like, do it. Now I really felt like I was being tested in terms of like life, not just like creatively, not just selfishly, but more so it was a big reality check, because 2 of the people that I knew were 40. The other one was a little older, but it was still sudden. And I was seriously, again, just reflecting on life, and my energy just like dropped. My heart dropped. My heart was broken. That grieving process just, it doesn't end. It's everlasting. You just learn to live your life with these feelings. You don't ever get over them, no matter how close or far you were to someone. It's the impact that lingers. It's the impact they had on you, or the impact it had on the person you knew them through. And maneuvering through grief, or with grief, not through, has been a journey I think I've just always been on. And I don't know if, I mean, I'm still in this. Like, this is stuff that's currently happening in my life. But what I'm saying is, like, these past 40 days have been me persisting while actively grieving, while actively navigating my own personal, I don't want to say battles, because I've definitely been through way worse, considering. But in my personal life, if none of those passings occurred, I'm still going through like building a new business, revitalizing my career, making money. Like every month I'm like making enough, but then one thing will fall off or get canceled, and I'm just like trying my best to not be in fight or flight mode. And creatively, I'm just like, gosh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to show up. I don't want to do this. But I made a promise to myself, and I said I was going to do this regardless of the outcome, because I want to see what I'm capable of doing. And I don't promote like overextending yourself when you're going through major life altering changes. But what I'm saying is, like, if you're not entirely hugely impacted to where you can't get out of bed every day, and stuff feels like too heavy, then I do feel like we have the capacity to show up and do things when that why is strong enough, when our reasons for doing anything are strong enough. And for me, I looked at this as an opportunity to say, hey, let me just show up. Real, raw, vulnerable. I don't have to tell everyone what I'm going through in that moment, although I'm sharing it with you now. But I do have to say, but I do want these moments to still exist because I have so much to say, and there's so much for me to share that I think is worthy of posting and presenting to you all online. And I hope that the messages and the vlogs that I presented to you all with as much energy as I had resonated with you at some point in time. And I really appreciate all the encouraging words and the new faces that I've come across and new subscribers, because that was another aspect. Was in the beginning, I wasn't seeing any growth. Like the videos weren't moving, and I was trying my best to detach from those outcomes because I know life is really real, and I don't want to confuse what I consider fun as another job or work that will take me away from enjoying this process. Because again, my goal was to show up consistently, but be more vulnerable, be more open, be more raw, give it to you all, like the days where my hair is super messy or I don't have it, or I just turn on the camera and talk, because that's when I, for me personally, show up the best. But I also know that this is bigger than me. This is beyond me. And if I just get on here and talk, I hope it can impact someone. But if not in this moment, I know that the confidence I'm gaining from this will eventually be used towards helping someone else later in other capacities, in other surroundings, and in other settings. But I was definitely tested through this time, and it wasn't like I was at home like depressed or grieving, but it definitely brought up a lot of old emotions that were connected to other people that I've lost or other friendship breakups that I've had. You know, a lot of those emotions that I thought I had dealt with resurfaced. So it showed me that those feelings, those emotions, that pain, that hurt, that joy, that fun, don't ever go away. Like our body remembers these things. It still harbors some of that in us, but it's just a matter of like, how am I going to let this overtake me? Because the past 40 days have been interesting, to say the least. I would say that posting every day has actually kept me grounded, kept me focused on something that was important to me, because I didn't focus on a lot of things that were important to me in my past. And doing the 40B adventure, 40B challenge the past 3 years has given me an opportunity to remember who I am, to remember why I'm doing anything, and to remember that I still have a lot of learning to do. I still have a lot of growth to experience and lessons to learn. I will say that I was definitely holding on. I was definitely a lot angrier than I thought I was 40 days ago. I would even say 70 days ago. So at the top of this year, I didn't realize how angry I was until I got the news of these people that had passed away, and it broke open my heart again. Like the ice box where my heart used to be, like I resonated with that song for a moment. Because I immediately felt, especially when I would go to the services or talk to family members that I hadn't seen in forever, or even being in communication with old friends, it really broke open my heart in a way that I didn't realize needed to be. It reminded me to really cherish the relationships I do have now, because even when I get annoyed or irritated, I have to remind myself, like, don't let this linger for too long. It's not that serious. I'm not saying avoid my feelings or ignore what I'm going through, but is there a different way I can react to this? Is there a softer way I can approach this instead of being so reactionary or so impulsive with my emotions? And I would definitely say the patience part of me, or lack thereof at times, the being someone that loves more softer, more gentler, has been challenged. these past 40 days. And again, it's still all so fresh to me, the way I'm approaching these things, because in the past, I would just be fiery. I would just be impulsive or avoidant. And I wouldn't ever like reflect on my actions to the point, not ever. I just wouldn't. It would be like the little things that add up and turn into bigger, fiery, explosive fights or arguments that would lead to like days or weeks of me not talking, right? Now I'm trying to catch myself and not let it go beyond even before I go to sleep, right? And if I do go to sleep angry or annoyed or whatnot, I do my best to resolve it that next day. There have been instances in my past where I still don't feel like going back, because I know the choices I made were the choices that I made. But those relationships that I'm rebuilding actively, these past 40 days have really made me lock in with these people and be more intentional in how I love, and being more intentional and mindful of how I love moving forward, because I know what's at stake. I know what I would be losing. These are people I don't want to lose. So it's worth the fight. It's worth the conversations. It's worth putting my ego aside, putting my pride to the side, and being sorry, being remorseful, being grateful, and checking myself, checking my attitude, because it's stupid, truly, the things that I harbor in my brain as offensive or hurtful or mean or whatever the case may be. Like, maybe stupid is not the right word, but it just feels silly when you look at the grand scheme of things, when you go wide instead of just staying here, being blocked by your own perspective, right? When you go wide, you realize, okay, it's not a big deal, Lil. It's not a big deal. Calm down. So these past 40 days, this past year have really opened and exposed me to me. I've gotten so much closer to God. I definitely feel like if I didn't do that, if I didn't pursue a relationship with God, I would have been so lost. And my relationship with God prior to me really investing in a relationship with God was good, but now it's exceedingly great. And I know it can only get better. Because when I think about things like drinking, going out partying, I still get that like itch. I want to. I really do. But I think about what obedience means to me now, what discipline means to me now. I've seen my life when I do what I want. It's a great life. It really is. I have fun. I enjoy myself, but I always felt like something was missing or I was empty. But now that I've chosen to be sober and not drink, at least not the way I used to, but I definitely haven't had a drink in a year and a half. I know the rewards of that choice. I have felt the rewards of that choice already. And they're way better. Those rewards, and I don't just mean money. I don't. I just mean how I feel internally, how people receive me, how I view the world, how I'm looking at the sky right now. And I could just sit here for hours looking at the sky, turn different colors and just be cool with that. Stare at the palm tree in my neighbor's yard as the sky and the sun goes down. I just have a different appreciation. Again, my view is just wider. It's not so narrow. My view just got wider and more open. And drinking not only helped me physically, but mentally, emotionally, financially. That reward to me, the life I have on the other side with obedience versus the other side without obedience, both equally great, but one just feels better. Literally and figuratively, because hangovers suck. Being broke because you drank all your money away sucks. being broke because, you know, I mean, or waking up the next day, not remembering what you did, and then embarrassing yourself, losing friends, sucks, you know? So I was still living a good life considering, but this one just, again, better. And it's not to say that I won't enjoy the nightlife or the club life. Like, I still enjoy that stuff, but it's now without that vice. And I always knew that I would quit drinking at some point again in my life. I just didn't know how or when or for how long. And now I'm at a point where definitely in this season, it's going to be, you know, in my mind, I think I'm not going to drink for forever. But I don't know. I don't know what life is going to hand me. I don't know what circumstances I'm going to be in, because, I mean, my mind goes so dramatic. Like, you know, for $1 billion, would you drink? Like, I don't know, maybe. I don't know. But is that $1 billion going to come with more stress and headache than I have now, than the simple, calm life I have now? Is it going to be worth it? Now I'm rambling. Let me step back, because I can ramble. But what I'm getting at is sobriety has been my choice. And again, I'll definitely say this. Mentally and emotionally, I'm in a much better place. I guess you could say healthier place. But so I could definitely, if I chose to, find the fun back in drinking or partying, whatever. But it's not, again, it just seems right to not do it. And I think about being called names like performative for not drinking. I just don't think I was articulating myself properly enough at those moments, because I was still in the life. I was still drunk most of the time, or hungover. And I was just tired of being disappointed in myself. So I had to stop. But truly, ultimately, I encourage everyone to take time out of their day, out of their life. It could even be 40 minutes a day, 40 seconds a day, or for the next 40 days. Your choice. But we all deserve time to really just lock in on something that we want to focus on, repairing within. And that's always my goal here. Because I will say the things that I failed at in these 40 days has definitely been the working out part. I'll tell you that much. But here's what. Stay with me. Stay with me. I decided to break up this video into 2 parts. So please watch part 2 here and subscribe, because more conversations like this are to come. More vulnerable conversations, more open dialogue, as well as more new adventures as they happen in real time. So thank you for watching, and please go watch part 2. And if you want to catch up on the rest of my 40B42 videos, save this playlist and just let it run. And my name is Lily, like the flower, and this is Fire Life. Life ain't perfect, but it is a blessing. Fearless individuality yields abundant healing.